Oh. Money in the Bank. The fuck was that?
Ladies and gentlemen, available on all platforms and YouTube. He's the Apex Podcaster. He's the wise owl of professional wrestling. He smells better than Dude Love with Sex Panther on. He's the king of fantasy booking. He is your favorite podcaster's favorite podcast. He is Omega Luke, and you're listening to the Omega Luke Wrestling Podcast.
Hey guys, my name is Mega Luke and I am depressed as fuck because did you see that shit on Sunday night for Money in the Bank? Brock fucking Lesnar. I just can't, you know, for years and years we had such great Money in the Bank winners and it just meant something and it pushed a mid-card guy to the top, the likes of Edge and CM Punk. Could have been Mr. Anderson. And now we're just wasting it on the same night. Don't get me wrong, I was happy that Bayley won, but we're just using it on the same night. I'm not a big fan of. I like leaving it for a long time and building a storyline around it. And then it's the men's, and I think, you know, if you give it to Drew McIntyre, that's a good shout. If you give it to Andrade, that's also a good shout. Always give it to a heel, I think. Give it to a heel, make him look good. Even Finn Balor would have been quite good with it. And then someone who's not even in the match just comes out. And I could, next year, do you know what I'm going to do next year? I'm going to go to Money in the Bank. I'm going to sit patiently in the crowd. I'm going to wait for every fucking bastard to fall out the ring, like everything happens at once. It always does, doesn't it? Everyone falls out the ring. And I'm going to go in there, I'm going to climb that ladder, I'm going to claim the briefcase. And they'll be like, Vince, I'm not in the match, but last year, Brock was in the match, and he won it. So there we go. You're looking at the new Money in the Bank winner, 2020. I'll do a better fucking job than Brock Lesnar. I'll turn up more, and I don't even live in the same country. Anyway, on to Fantasy Booking Faction. Yes, Fantasy Booking Faction. Let's go a little bit more positive now. We are in the final day, the final week, episode 10 of Season 1. This is it, guys. We finally made it to episode 10. Hotly anticipated episode, of course, because we had a run-in of 4 different people who could win the championship for the first ever Fantasy Booking Faction. So let's have a look at the league table and find out who those 4 people are. So we have joint 10th place, Grayson Reeves and Mike Aaron, 2 people who haven't really participated since the first few weeks of FBF. They are on 22 points. New guy Stone Cold Ads has finally cracked the top 10 with 23 points. Take the bump on 27 with Luke Roberts. Freddie Russell on 29. Sam Preston is actually on 30, not 29. My maths is shit. I'm sorry, Sam. Byron J. Bastian is in 4th place with 35 points. Kyle McGrath, the most consistent, arguably, guy in this, is there on 39 points. Caden CN, who had that ridiculous surge and the mid-season surge that he had, up there on 40 points in 2nd place. But reclaiming top spot last week was Mike Baker on 41 points. So yes, Mike Baker, Caden CN, Kyle McGrath and Byron J. Bastian could all be taken home that winners. You don't really get a trophy. You get pride. You get pride. You win Fantasy Booking Faction, and I don't give you anything for it. But thank you. Thank you very much. You get pride. So let's go to the stipulation then. Let's have a look at what the scenario is that I gave you this week. Of course, last week, you had to build a faction around myself, and I very much enjoyed all of your factions. They were great. Thank you very much for that. Go check that episode out if you haven't seen it. It's good fun. And this scenario, I left it up to you, so you had to build a faction around yourself, but I gave you a scenario. of Vince McMahon has created the corporation again. I know. Fucking hate it. But he has gone with a different one this time. He has gone with Finn Balor, Aleister Black, Braun Strowman, Becky Lynch and the Usos. All of which, by the way, at the minute are faces. And you are now to choose 4 members to join you in feuding with them in a faction. So, of course, they have 6, you will have 5, so the odds are stacked against you already. I'm looking at people thinking about their faction here because the other stipulations was it must be a face faction. However, you can pick heels, and if you give arguments to why they should be faces, then I shall listen. 2 members must already be formed, already be a formed tag team from any promotion that you like. So you can use a tag team in WWE if you wish. You can use in any promotion. And the other 2 members, one of them must be from a WWE brand of your choice, NXT, NXT UK, 205 Live, whatever, and the other must not. So we're looking for independent guys, AEW guys, New Japan. The choice is endless. Obviously, the extra rule, of course, as always, is you cannot already pick people who are in the same faction as each other. Obviously, tag team doesn't count. So let's have a look. Who came in 10th position for Season 1, Episode 10? So in 10th place is Take the Bump podcast, picking up 1 point this week. I'll chuck up the graphic he has provided here. I'm going with my Southern roots for this last week. El Tigre is bringing his A-game. Southern Uprising is the team name, with the Revival as the tag team, Lacey Evans as the WWE member, non-WWE member as Cody Rhodes, and he's even given us a manager of Arn Anderson, so I really like that, how he's thought of doing a manager as well. Nice link where all being Southern guys. I really like that. He's chucked himself in there as well with his mask. Thank you very much for taking part. Take the Bump podcast in Season 1. You pick yourself up 1 point. Looking forward to seeing what you do in Season 2. In 9th place, unfortunately, is one of the people in the running. But that doesn't mean he hasn't lost yet, because who knows? They might not. None of the rest of them might have entered. They might not have got in the top 10. You might just be picking up points just to win. But you do pick up 2 points today. Caden CN. So that massive surge in the middle of Facebook and Faction. You have got yourself up there. What does this 2 points do for you? So you have gone with the faction name of Lifeline. And you obviously have included yourself, Tommaso Ciampa, the Lucha Bros, and Jeff Cobb. So you've gone with like an all-star group of competitors to assist you in taking out Vince's supergroup. You hand-pick Tommaso Ciampa, and the rest is history. You pick the Lucha Brothers, and finally Jeff Cobb. And a nice little faction. I won't go into it too much detail, but I obviously go through all of them myself, so that's how I rank them. But it's a really cool faction anyway. And the graphic, by the way, is very good. Really like that for Lifeline. However, there was just so many great factions today. You only pick up 2 points for 9th position. But as that stands, you go top, I do believe. You go top with 2 points. You leapfrog Mike Baker. How does Mike Baker get on, though? That's the question. In 8th position, picking up 3 points, though, is another member of that lucrative top 4 in week 9 that we had that you could go on and win, and that is Byron J. Bassin. So unfortunately, Byron cannot win, but he's up there in the top 10 nonetheless. He has gone with a faction with Bray Wyatt, obviously himself, Kylie Ray, and the good guy Tama Tonga with his brother Tanga Loa. They are called the New Dawn, and basically, I think what he's basically gone with is like the Firefly Funhouse, Bray Wyatt, with Kaylee Ray bringing out the best of him, and good guy Tama Tonga, which we've seen recently. Nice little cool faction. I like the idea of Kaylee Ray being like the balanced figure in this to bring the psychopaths down. And very well done, Byron J. Bastion. Thank you very much for taking part in Fantasy Book and Faction Season 1. Can't wait to see what you do in Season 2, brother. 3 points for you. You end on 38. In 7th place, picking up 4 points and going to the top of the leaderboard is Mike Baker. So Mike, he has gone with his faction. He's had a very long explanation, and I'll try and be as brief as I can with it. He's gone with Speedball Mike Bailey, Triple H, the Killer Elite Squad, and of course, Mike himself there in the corner, as you can see from the graphic. The faction, basically, he has thought well and hard into this, how and who they partner up with and sort of take out. So he's gone with Speedball Mike Bailey, taking out Aleister Black. You've got the Killer Elite Squad and Triple H sort of all kind of amalgamating and take out the big threat of Braun Strowman. And of course, they're going to be there to take on the rest as well. So it's a very good faction. I really like how he went into depth with it and thought of how they all counterpart against the corporation that Vince McMahon has come up against. But arguably, I don't know whether I see Speedball Mike Bailey and Triple H together. That's one of the things why I didn't think I'd put it a little bit higher. But it was a very good faction nonetheless, Mike. And it does put you top. Can you stay there? We have one more person who hasn't featured yet. Kyle McGrath. Has he featured in this episode? We will find out, I suppose, in a minute. In 6th place, picking up 5 points, is Everything Pro Wrestling. It's Conrad. Here we go. He's gone with the spoilers. Himself, Conrad there, cool as fuck, with LAX. I love that team. Jacob Fatu and Sasha Banks. We use Sasha Banks being out as a reason for the spoilers to form. Afterwards, we go on a vicious run through Vince's corporation until the obvious victors emerge in our team. Mic drop. And he goes into a little bit of explanation about it. But I really like how he's thought about the way that these guys are brought in through Sasha Banks, who obviously is not in the WWE's good books right now. We have not seen her for a while. Well, I didn't see her at Money in the Bank. I haven't really watched WWE, and I definitely won't be catching anything anytime soon. But anyway, Sasha Banks bringing them in through that for the corporation. LAX, I'm a huge fan of LAX, an incredible face tag team. Jacob Fatu, as much as I don't know a lot about him, I've heard good things. And of course it's Conrad, so Conrad's cool as fuck. So really nice little faction there, Conrad. You pick yourself up 5 points. Great little faction. You're building up some points in the end. I don't know whether you make top 10, but I'm excited to see how you do in Season 2 nonetheless. Thank you very much for taking part. Now, someone who has had a very long time to consider his faction, and that is because he is a Patreon member, so he gets all of the stipulations a week, well, almost a week earlier than what you guys do. He gets them on the Monday before this episode comes out. He already knows what the next stipulation is. That is Sam Presson. He has got 6 points today in 5th place. For hashtag Team Wrestling Blogs, he has gone with Kevin Owens, Jordan Grace, and The Revival. Just like their manager, they pride themselves on ability and belief in their own talent, not their size, look, or appearance. They don't tick Vince's own preferences, so they stand as representatives of the WWE universe. I like how this faction is classed as like the outsiders and, you know, people who Vince doesn't really want to consider themselves as good talents. However, Jordan Grace, I think Vince would fucking love because, I mean, she's gorgeous to look at. She's also an absolute beast. And she would kick the fuck out of a lot of those women. I would like to see a Jordan Grace versus Nia Jax. And that is saying something because there's not many Nia Jax matches I want to see. But I just want to see that one because I want to see Jordan Grace kick the fuck out of her. So really cool faction. I like how he's linked them together and thought of how he would fit in that group as well. Very nice faction. Thank you very much, Sam, for taking part every week and for hyping up the Fantasy Booking faction. And of course, for being a Patreon member and supporting me as a content creator. So I thank you very much for that. It's as little as $3 a month Sam pays, just to have some stipulations a little earlier, but it's also just a seal of appreciation towards me, I guess, to let me know that he's enjoying my content. So thank you very much, Sam, for doing so. Pick yourself up 6 points. I bet you're happy with that. Now in 4th place, picking up 7 points. And taking over in first place is Kyle McGrath. The uncrowned king, Kyle McGrath, has done it. So, this is the reason why he has gone with, if it's a battle you want, Vince, it's a battle you're going to get. He has got Drew McIntyre, Big Force, the Bastard Pack, Eichner and Bartel, and I love them, and the uncrowned king, Kyle McGrath, as their leader. And the team name, the Prophecy of Pain. He's gone a little bit into a description of why. And quite frankly, I really like the look of these guys together. Obviously, he has gone with like 4 European guys and himself, who I believe Kyle is from Canada. Correct me if I'm wrong, Kyle, but I think he is from Canada. So I really like how this faction comes together. I think the look of Drew McIntyre and Bastard Pack together would be awesome. And Eichner and Bartel are doing absolute bits right now and are incredible. And you know, if you couldn't have Walter, because obviously they would be the same faction, a Drew McIntyre, that's a pretty good replacement, if you ask me, for a Walter. That's an empowering figure. And of course, Pac, as much as a troublemaker he seems he is, it's Pac, innit? He just looks classy. He is awesome in the ring. So, Kyle McGrath, very well done. 4th place today, 7 points. You leapfrog into first position of Season 1. Not bad. Not bad at all. The most consistent guy, I'll keep saying it every week. But he is consistent. And that is a good faction. In 3rd place, picking up 8 points though, is someone who in the last few weeks has been doing very well, getting himself into the top 10. And that is Stone Cold Ads at Thrash Magnetic. He has gone with the faction name of the Eradicators, with himself, Stone Cold Ads, and I'll chuck up a great little photo of him here, with my good friend David Starr. He's also gone with the Gorillas of Destiny, Tamatonga and Tangaloa, Ricochet, and Tessa Blanchard. And he's gone into a brief description, so let me talk this through to you. So Vince thinks he's clever by creating the new corporation. Well, guess what? Not as clever as me. I've toured the world scouting for what's better than Vince's brown nosers. Oh, burn. There's me, not a big lad, but with a big mouth and a big attitude to boot. I am the leader and the mouthpiece of the faction. The Usos, pah! I've got the Gorillas of Destiny, a proper Samoan wrecking machine. And that is a match I would quite like to see. Yes, Vince has Aleister Black. He does. I said that at the beginning. He does have Aleister Black. You're correct. But I have the one and only Ricochet. The one man that can match Black as he knows him inside out after tagging together. That's disrespectful. Becky Lynch. She's good. I mean, well, good. However, I have the best female talent in the world in Tessa Blanchard. And that is hard to argue. She can outsmart and outmaneuver everything Becky attempts. So Vince, you may have your stooges, but myself and the Eradicators will remove you forever. So I guess by this, Ads has taken on Braun Strowman and Finn Balor. But the faction entrance theme is Refuse/Resist by Sepultura. I'm playing it for you now. I hope you're enjoying it. But other than that, very good little faction. Thank you very much, Stone Cold Ads. He keeps improving every week, and it's no surprise that keeps him in the top 10 in this final week of Season 1. So I'm excited to see what Ads can do in Season 2, definitely. But nice little faction. Thank you very much, Ads, for taking part and for always supporting. Thank you. In 2nd place, though, picking up 9 points today, is my brain buster dad, Wilfred Watches. He says, if I have this right, and you do, of course Wilfred is part of this faction. He has gone with Aussie Open as the tag team, a tag team that I am a huge fan of from Progress. Devlin from NXT UK and David Starr, the very independent guy. The name of Arrows in Flight. And I just fucking love this faction. I think they would be very good look together, especially as a face faction. David Starr is just incredible at the minute. Apparently he had an amazing Match of the Year candidate, which Ads, the last guy who finished 3rd, seen the night before I'm recording this, at UPW in Exeter, which is like an hour away, with Dick Riley, who came on the podcast. Apparently that was a Match of the Year candidate. Jordan Devlin, who at the minute is my favourite wrestler, because name a bad Jordan Devlin match, he is just so smooth in the ring. That Saito suplex, which he is now using as a finisher, which I love, is just great and gorgeous to look at. Jordan Devlin, amazing talent. And Aussie Open, of course, Mike Davis and Kyle Fletcher are doing amazing stuff around the world, including Progress right now. Very good faction. Really like it. 9 points. Wilfred. Nice one. But in first place today, and it wouldn't be hashtag Fantasy Booking Faction if this guy didn't round out Season 1, Episode 10, the final episode of Season 1, in first place. I think he came first in the first episode because he is the Don of Fantasy Booking Faction. He hasn't entered every week, which is the reason why he's not in the top 10. He was in the top 10, which is the reason why he's not going for the title in the top 10. But it's Mike Aaron, and it's great to see. His faction is fucking class, by the way. His faction includes himself, of course, because that was the stipulation. You had to build a faction around yourself. He has then gone for Jim Cornette as the manager, and I could definitely see Mike being managed by Jim Cornette. The Revival, keeping with that old school style. Taker with the American Badass version, and already I'm enjoying this. And James Storm. Southern Discomfort is the name. Really like this faction. I could definitely see it working. Jim Cornette as the mouthpiece talking. The Revival as that really cool 80s style tag team, which I think Mike just fits in perfectly. I really do. James Storm as that like sort of cowboy mid-card, upper mid-card guy. And then you have like the unsung leader of the group in Badass Taker, the American Badass Taker. Really nice little faction and absolutely fit in that Mike Aaron wins this final episode of hashtag Fantasy Booking Faction in Season 1. So thank you very much, Mike, for taking part once again. I hope you keep on sticking around because I really enjoy your factions, mate. 10 points for you today. But how does that finish overall? I think we know the winner, but let's have a look anyway. So in 10th place, finishing in 10th with 27 points is one of my best friends, Luke Roberts. He hasn't took part in the last couple of weeks, which is a shame because he did so well at the beginning. Take the Bump podcast is in one place above him with 1 point more than him on 28. Freddie Russell again on 29 in 8th. 7th place is Stone Cold Ads on 31 points. And there is Mike Aaron on 32 points with 6 points. Sam Preston is in 5th place with 36 points. Byron J. Bastian is in 4th place with 38. Caden CN in 3rd with 42. And Mike Baker just missing out in 2nd place with 45. But the winner of this season, Season 1, it goes to the uncrowned king, Kyle McGrath. Congratulations, Kyle. So there we have it, guys. Just 1 point in it, in hashtag Fantasy Booking Faction. That's how close it has been. But those top 4 guys, they have featured in so many weeks. It has kept chopping and changing. I think this is the first time Kyle has actually been the top of the leaderboard because Mike was top for a long time before Caden came along after his mid-table or his mid-season surge. But like I say, I think Kyle has been in the top 10 since week 1, and every week I do believe he has picked up some points other than like 1 or 2 weeks. So he's fully deserved to be up there nonetheless. But he takes the title as the first ever hashtag Fantasy Booking Faction champion. Kyle McGrath, hats off to you, my friend. You win this one. I'll give you that. 46 points. Congratulations, my man. So thank you to everyone who has took part in this season's hashtag Fantasy Booking Faction. Season 2 will be around soon. Gonna take a week or 2 as off as a little break, but don't worry. There will be some sort of Fantasy Booking Faction content it just won't be where you guys participate. I want to leave you guys wanting more. So I'm going to give you guys a week off to recharge your batteries, ready for Season 2. And next Monday on Patreon will be the next stipulations. And then next Thursday for everyone else who hasn't paid for Patreon and wants it earlier. So if you do want those stipulations next Monday, go ahead to patreon.com/Omega Luke, where you can find for $3 a month, you can pay to have those stipulations a little early. And it does all help with content and stuff like that, and equipment and editing software and all stuff like that. You don't realise how much it actually costs and the time that it takes to do this. So it does all help. So thank you very much for everyone who does pay for Patreon. But thank you anyone for just checking out the content, leaving a like and subscribing. It does mean a lot that you guys enjoy my stuff. So thank you very much for that. I hope you've all enjoyed Season 1. It has been a blast. A lot of ups, very little downs. I don't think there's been any. Some incredible factions, and it's going to get good for Season 2. There's a lot of people I know who maybe in the last couple of weeks thought, well, I'm not going to reach the top 10, so I won't bother participating. But they are fully on board with #FantasyBookingFaction. So it's going to be harder for me and harder for you. Harder for you to get in that top 10. Harder for me to pick the fucking top 10. Because believe me, when it was mid-season and I was having 40 to 50 different factions to pick from, impossible job. But thank you very much for supporting. Leave a like, leave a comment. Congratulate Kyle. Commiserations to Mike, Caden and Byron. But thank you all for joining anyway. And I'll catch you on the next season of #FantasyBookingFaction. Bye bye.